Welcome to Will It Work? I'm Kevin. Today we have the Master System 3 Collection. 120 Super Jogos? Or is it like Yoyos? I have no idea. This is a Brazilian system. It is from Tectoy. Tectoy released a number of Sega systems, and they still sell at least one today. They were officially licensed Sega company that basically dominated the Brazilian market in the early 90s, late 80s, etc. with Sega stuff. And the Master System did really well there, apparently. And, you know, if you're not really up to speed on all of the variations and things, because in the United States and in Japan, probably in Europe as well, the Nintendo Entertainment System was the dominant system. And Sega had originally tried to compete with the SG-1000, also known as the Mark I, and that was underpowered compared to the NES. And then they came out with Mark II, which was just a restyled, Mark I, and that, of course, didn't do particularly well. And then they came out with the Mark III, which was also known as the Master System in the United States, and that is technologically superior to the NES. It is actually probably one of the highest powered 8-bit game systems that was released commercially. It had a really good graphics chip in it and was capable of doing some, more advanced things than other systems. But by the time Sega had gotten its, act together with the Master System, the NES had already gotten a lot of exclusive contracts and things of that nature, so that it was already pretty well entrenched, especially in Japan. And, Sega also just didn't do a very good job at marketing in the United States with the Master System. I remember, I was here, I went to the store, I could see the NES, I could see the Master System. They were comparable looking in the sense of they both had this base unit, they both had a light gun, they both had these D-pad style controllers, but the NES had a lot more games that people wanted to play. And at that point in time, Sega didn't have like Sonic and all that sort of stuff. So, it wasn't the thing that people really wanted to buy. Kids-wise anyway. And so Sega was in the game, because nobody else was at that point because of the video game crash and everything. Most of the other competitors had either bowed out or their offerings were kind of weak. But the Master System just never really, got itself together. And Sega basically, decided we're going to release the Genesis and sort of jump ahead a little bit, which did work for them in the United States. Worldwide, I think it was a fairly close competition between the Genesis and the NES. There's winners and losers, and maybe the NES, Super NES won in the long run, but I think it was just very comparable. Those two systems were really at the top of their game with 16-bit and everything. But anyway, in Brazil, there was no Nintendo presence really, other than of course, all of the commercial copied systems, clones, and things of that nature. But back then, you didn't have the internet, so people weren't easily getting ROMs and things downloaded off the internet. So even if you went out and bought a clone system, you had to hope that you would be able to find games for it, and in the right cartridges and all this sort of thing, and that they would work on your particular clone to play some games, where with the Tectoy, they were making Master System games, and they made their own Master System games, which we'll look at on here. And they made some. They also, had a lot of the regular Sega games, and they would support these systems. So, if you're from Brazil, you would be like, well, this is probably the better way to go. Now, this particular unit, there's a number of different styles of these things. This is Master System 3. There's a later one. that has a similar form factor. They come with built-in games. So the 120 says it has 120 games on it. I believe some of these models might actually take cartridges. This one does not. I know it looks like it. It probably does because there's this slot right here. But let's look on the back here. We've just got your standard mono audio and composite video. Nothing really on the bottom, right? And then you've got your two 9-pin game ports. You've got a big old reset pause button here and your power button, okay? And there's nothing on the left or the right hand side. And then this here, this flap, which doesn't really want to open, okay, that looks like a cartridge port. And you would think, yeah, that's what they designed it for. But if you look in there, you can see in there, there is no, port there to plug a cartridge in. Although it looks like there could have been one. And at one point I was feeling around in here and I was thinking, well, was it on there and then it got ripped out? But no, it just looks like it was never put in. Which is maybe just this particular model, maybe it was an option or something, or maybe they couldn't get it to work right. I don't know what the whole story is here, but I find it very unusual that you have this cartridge port. It looks like it even takes two different sized cartridges. And there's no cartridge port, but that's okay. You don't need it. It has 120 built-in games, which is more Master System games than you're probably going to know what to do with. It comes with this Genesis or Sega Saturn looking 6-button controller type of thing. It's pretty generic, but it is a tech toy controller. It's not aftermarket or whatever, and it plays okay. So we'll switch over to the video side and we'll take a look at it. Master System 3 collection. This is not the only tech toy system we're going to look at. We're going to look at at least two more, maybe three. I will say one thing though, before I switch over. Brazilian TV back in the day, they used a weird version of PAL television standard for their signals, and it was very close to what we used in the United States with NTSC, but the color palette was different. So in a lot of cases, if you don't have a interpreter or whatever you want to call it, a converter, which are kind of hard to find for Brazil, you can only play a lot of these in black and white. I do have some converters, and I think I can probably get this one to play in color. So we'll take a look at it and we'll see if that works. But it's not unusual if you pick up a Brazilian system like a tech toy system, since those are the only ones I know of, other than maybe some really old clone type systems. That you'll probably see them, and they would be in black and white. And of course, when you want to power them, you have to use one of these plugs, which Brazil's weird when it comes to their power situation over there. Some places it's 110, 115, whatever you want to call it, 120. And then other places it is 220, 240. And it just depends on where you live in Brazil. So whenever you make an appliance for Brazil, generally, you want your system to be able to support either. So you plug this in, and you might plug it into a 220, or you might plug it into a 110, and the system should work with either. I don't know if that's the case with this one. On the safe side, I put it in, but it does say on the back here, on this sticker, it says 110, 220 volts, 3 watts. So maybe you could use it with either, which is not unusual. Now, in recent years, they have developed a standard at homes, and this type of plug is the standard. And they label the plugs now, from what I've read online, there's a 110 plug and a 220 plug, and you can, then you would know, okay, I can use this one for this appliance or this one for that appliance. However, the plug shape is the same for both. So, you still can plug it into the wrong one and fry your equipment if you get it wrong. So, still kind of a crazy system over there. It's the only country I know of, I mean, that I know of anyway, that has like this sort of mixed up different power thing. But yeah, so you would need to have a converter for this and most other Brazilian systems if you were going to play. Okay, let's switch over to the video side and check it out. Okay, we're looking at the Master System 3 collection. 120 Super Jogos. So I guess whatever. This is all the games I got on here. From what I understand, this is all supposed to be some sort of emulation, but my guess is it's probably pretty good. And, you know, just because it's an old 8-bit system. Interested kind of in any of the games that might be more like this, that might be more, you know, made for the Brazil market. Now it could be renamed, but yeah, this one looks like it was made by Tectoy in 2005. It's crazy, right? A Master System game in 2005. Like, all right, let's see what it is. Some sort of fighter is what I'm guessing. Oh, is this the actual game? What in the world is going on here? This is like some sort of weird version of War or something? Alright, well this is terrible. Let's get out of this. See how we can get out of this menu. Well, the critter graphics are kind of cool, but what the heck? Alright, let's off, on. I don't know about this cartridge port. It seems stuck. Sega. See if the Rastan saga works here. Most of the time these Brazil systems don't come in color. They come in black and white because they used a weird version of, like a hybrid version of NTSC and PAL. And unless you had the right translation or tool or tuner, whatever you want to call it, huh. How the heck do I get up this thing? Oh. Was that poison? I can't jump over this thing. Why? Okay, double jumping. That doesn't work. I did jump high once. Okay, I see what I gotta do. Gotta push up and right and press the jump button at the same time. We're doing some jungle hunt shit here. Oh, some kind of weird chimera thing coming after me.
The cables aren't so great, so it turns a little dark right there. I don't think that was because it was nighttime. I think cables are a little bit crappy on this one. I should have just put my own cables on. Jesus. Oh. That was bullshit. Oh. Hey. Oh. Uh-oh. Boss fight. Run away! What the hell? There we go. Hooray for Rastan! Alright, let's try one more game and then we'll chalk it up as this one works and we'll keep it. Plays alright. It's just weird. It's like they sold this. I mean, they still sell the one. We'll look at that one in the future. Let's see if there's anything on here. The New Zealand history. What? Yeah, what's this? Another tech toy from '95. Oh, is this just like a matching game? Oh. Whoa. Alright, this is a little hard, guys. I think it's just trying to fuck with me here. Uh-huh. Alright, well that was lame. Anyway, this looks like it's a keeper. We'll look at the Master System Evolution one later, but Master System 3 Collection, it works. I haven't tried the cartridge port, but I don't have a cartridge handy. But I'm sure it probably works. Thanks for watching. I'll